Wilder Show podcast. I'm Scott. That's Lauren.
Hello.
First, apologies. Running a tad late
It's
today.
my fault.
We'll call it technical difficulties.
Well,
okay, it's your fault. Instagram.
that are called Lauren.
We're on Instagram. Yeah, we are. Wilder Show Pod. You look for it, you find it, you'll like it, you'll share it, all those things. If you want to send us an email, just email podcast@wildershow.com. Podcast@wildershow.com. Wilder Show podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays at 6 a.m. Central on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. Like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. All right, let's dive into some of the things. Hulk Hogan has died.
I know. That was a surprise,
It
right?
was.
He had not been unwell.
No, it was called emergency whatevers were called to his place, and because of a heart attack.
Yeah.
And he died. And so all the people in the stories and the memories and unlike what happens as you're alluding to sometimes. People, well, I mean, look, everyone is going to die, but I mean, something that could be imminent. News organizations have what's called a morgue file on a bunch of people.
Oh, sure.
They basically have the video piece ready for that person to die.
People look at that afterwards, when someone dies, even suddenly, and you see like a 12-minute retrospective
within 5 minutes.
Of their life and their career, and you think, how did they have that? I mean, how did they put that together so quickly? They didn't. It's on. Now it's on. I was going to say it's on a shelf. It's not on a physical shelf anymore. It's in somebody's file somewhere, and it's just ready to go.
I used to think, man, they must have some great interns just running around real quick and grabbing everything and all the old videos of Billy Graham or whatever. No, listen. They have that done ahead of time, and then they slap on the more recent stuff, if there is recent stuff. Yeah. Anyway, but they didn't have all that. They obviously have highlights of him, and he was most recently in the at the Republican National Convention.
Oh, that's right.
I think he was one of the last people to speak before Donald Trump came out. He was a character for sure. He was just a character.
I wonder at what age, back to the morgue file.
Did they start compiling?
Yeah. Because, if you're anybody who is anybody in politics or entertainment and probably a bunch of other categories, tech, I mean, anybody that we would know, that file exists.
So
at
Musk.
What age? Yeah.
Elon Musk, there's a file on him.
How old? So you think even they have to have it?
I don't think it may be an age as much as it is notoriety.
Just compiling it.
Yeah, I mean, just along the way. I mean, I think
makes sense.
But nowadays, with all you could tag things. They just say pull all the tags of whatever. Yeah. And boom, all those things come out and bang, you got it. And with AI and stuff, that can actually probably produce it. Put together a 5-minute montage of Elon Musk's quote, greatest hits.
I just heard somebody talking about being in film school in the late 90s, and they were still editing with actual tape and cutting tape and splicing tape, and that's not that long ago.
Well, we've talked about this in radio. The guys and people who are in radio today or audio or whatever. They have no idea about, a wax marker and a blade physically cutting a piece of tape and degaussing or demagnetizing a blade because you have electricity in your hands. And if you grab a razor blade and you cut the tape, when you put that piece of tape together, there's a little... They have no idea. They just say, computer, blah, blah, blah.
It's a different world.
It's like kids, I was talking before, remote control. They don't remote for what? It's not a remote. It's a remote to do.
That's
doing
just how you turn the television.
Yeah,
on.
It's not a remote. You're not doing something remotely that you used to do a different way. This is the way you do it. Same way with all this other video or audio editing, all this stuff.
The only reason they might know the word remote is because that is also how you operated all of their toys, like the remote control car and the remote control.
Yeah.
Like now you've got a remote for the things that fly in the air. And we sound ancient. We sound just ancient.
And in a Trump dump segment of things on Donald Trump, there's so much going on right now. You know, the Epstein thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, what a lot of people consider to be just his desire to distract. Lots of other things. Look over here. Don't look over there. Look over here.
Yeah.
We're going to change the Washington Commanders back to the Redskins. Yeah, that's a good idea. and you know, hey, no way, we're not doing that. And whether it means for it to be a distraction, so you're not paying attention to this other stuff. It does have that impact, but I have really not much to say about President Trump. Look, his approval numbers are down, according to the reports that we see. We just talked about the accomplishments of the first 6 months. I think those hold, and people who are opposed to him are opposed to him, and people who are for him are for him. And I don't think there's a lot of news to push or pull anyone from one side to the other, except maybe South Park. You know, South Park, these guys, man, they are just crazy. And then we have the Colbert thing. We talked about that. But these things, that ties in because the Paramount deal is now done.
Right.
The FCC has now approved it. Mm-hmm. And all those things were done before the FCC approved the deal. And a lot of people thought, that's one of the things I was going to mention last time when you were talking about Colbert. Mm-hmm. And I had forgotten this. You were talking about whether or not it was motivated by this or motivated by that, the removal of Colbert. You have the South Park deal, and South Park is part of the Paramount deal, and that also is part of Colbert.
Right.
We talked about Colbert and the removal of Colbert, which actually was the cancellation of the actual show.
The Late Show.
So the Late Show doesn't exist anymore, and it's 10 months from now, so it's almost a year from now. But that's what I was going to tell you last time in the podcast, is you're talking about the motivation. What is it motivated by? And it did happen like a day after Colbert was announced. A day after Colbert had said really bad things about the Paramount deal. I talked about it as a bribe and a payoff and all the things that were done where Paramount paid off the Trump lawsuit in order for the Trump FCC to approve the purchase of Paramount by Skydance. So he was critical of it, and the very next day or within a week, he was gone.
Yeah.
But not gone. That's what I was going to tell you. What made it political was not that they're canceling the show or that he is losing his gig. What made it political was the timing of the announcement. Mm-hmm. They announced it in order for the FCC to then, according to the stories, FCC then to feel good about and announce the approval of the purchase of a Paramount, which is the parent company of CBS, by Skydance. So South Park, these guys, they just cut a $1.5 billion deal. They just agreed to produce 50 new episodes over the next 5 years in a deal valued at $1.5 billion. You know how much that is? That is $30 million per episode.
Oh, my gosh.
$30 million per episode over the next 5 years. And then 10 hours later, Matt Stone and Trey Parker just excoriated Paramount. So they cut a deal with Paramount for $1.5 billion. Mm-hmm. And then they just rip that place apart in the premiere episode of the Comedy Central 27th season of the show.
Which they said they were putting together 3 days before it aired.
Yeah. I mean,
which they would have had to have been.
Yeah.
For it to be as topical as it is.
Yeah, for sure. In the episode, Trump, voiced by Stone, and man, he's so good, Stone is. He sues the town of South Park for $5 billion after it challenges Jesus Christ's presence in the elementary school. The townspeople are prepared to fight back. This gets really edgy, but they do.
I mean,
you read this, you know.
Well, yeah, you can't even really
read some of it.
Read a synopsis.
Yeah, I know
air.
it's true. So, anyway, it's just it's most would consider to be sacrilegious. It certainly is. They just attack everybody.
This is not new, though.
Right.
I remember, 20 years ago or more, you were talking about them being equal opportunity offenders.
That's true.
They would offend anyone on the left, on the right, in the middle. It didn't
Religious,
matter. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
So Paramount is under scrutiny, as we talked about, appearing to count out to Trump. And so Stone and Parker were upset about that. Here's a timeline. On July 2nd, Paramount agrees to pay $16 million in a lawsuit to settle the lawsuit from Trump. He alleged that 60 Minutes had deceptively edited the interview with Vice President Kamala Harris. CBS denied the claim, but paid $16 million. Some people consider that to be a payoff. I think that's probably right. I think that's what CBS believed it was. I think it's what ABC believed in the lawsuit where they settled. Now, so that happened on the 2nd of July. On July 17th, CBS announced that it plans to cancel The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, calling it a purely financial decision. But Colbert fans cry foul. They say the comedian was being penalized for his anti-Trump humor. If that's true, they're all going to be on the chopping block, which I don't believe. By the way, the total aside, did you see the View is taking a hiatus?
I did see that.
And I think on the thing, Joy Behar, whatever her name is, she said, we hope to return. So now whether they're stoking it like trying to get
everybody all excited,
get their people all engaged or not, I don't know. But I don't like the idea of the government coming in and telling people, what they can say. I don't want that.
No.
On either side.
And I do think having, like when we talked about the Colbert thing, one of the first things I said was I used to, live and die by those shows. I knew who the guests were going to be. If I wasn't staying up late to watch it, I was recording it so I could watch it the next day. That's not so much the case anymore. But
right.
I have seen, since all of this happened, and somebody who watches regularly maybe could correct me. Everything that I read immediately afterwards was that Colbert was a little bit harder. Like, Jimmy Fallon maybe doesn't talk about politics at all. Seth Meyers might have, some headline stuff. And also Seth Meyers is on after midnight, and I don't think Donald Trump even really cares about him or gives him the time of day.
Right.
Jimmy Kimmel's maybe a little bit harder on the president, but he has 25 years at ABC behind him. Harder to knock him off of a throne. So it might really be that Stephen Colbert was the one under the had the harshest light on him because he gives the president so much trouble.
And like I said, I don't like the idea of I'll say the left deciding that Rush Limbaugh should go away. I don't like the idea of the right deciding somebody else should go away. At the same time, I don't like the idea that the left, for example, would prop up someone who really should be canceled. Someone who does not have the viewership. There's nothing going on there except they are attacking, the opposite side. So I, in that sense, I don't know what the viewership of The View is. I'd be depressed if it's large because I think it's just the biggest waste of time in the world.
It's been
that
on
show
for so long.
I know, but the way it began, you could argue the way it began, Barbara Walters' days or whatever, very different from what it is today.
You remember what the whole concept was. It was Barbara Walters and maybe 3 or 4 other women. She wasn't always there. Barbara Walters wasn't always there. But I remember the voiceover of it at the beginning, and it was Barbara Walters. I wanted to have, 4, it was important that they were women, but from different backgrounds and different ages. They were, with 4 different generations of women.
That's right.
There was a young woman, maybe somebody in, I think she was like in her 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. 50s and Barbara Walters, and it was so that they all, that they came to answer any questions or address any topics from different perspectives.
Well, it is sort of like that still. You have a liberal who's black, a liberal who is in her 30s, a liberal who's in her 40s.
That's true.
A liberal who's in her 60s. I mean, but they all come from the exact same mold. They're just different ages.
And every time they ever have somebody who is even, slightly conservative, on the moderate end of conservatism even, they just get the tar knocked out of them all the time.
That's the only reason they're there, is to be a target. I mean, they are there. It's like setting a kitten free in a backyard full of dogs. It's like, good luck. So the South Park guys are, billionaires, which I think they already were. And they're going to be doing 49 more episodes. And they'll keep skewering anybody that they want. And it will be funny to a whole bunch of people that watch it. And the CBS deal, the Paramount deal, it looks like is going to be done. And it also includes a lot of stuff like they're going to stop doing DEI and all kinds of weird things, I think, inside a company in order to get this deal done, which is weird. Speaking
of media, have you seen any updates on how NPR donations are going since they've had their government funding pulled?
So since the government's pulled the money, are the individuals coming in? And, well, good. If the public supports it, that's one thing. My whole thing was not that the things that they put up shouldn't be put up. If you want to do liberal radio, do liberal radio. But we don't want to publicly fund it. I would guess over time that's going to go back down.
I would imagine so too. But they are using the news well.
Sure.
Roughly 120,000 new donors have contributed an estimated $20 million in annual value. So they say those numbers are encouraging, but still, far short of what they need. They need about.
Well, they had 1.1 billion cut, so 20 million. I mean, I'm sure they're glad. How many new donors?
120,000 new donors.
It's a lot of tote bags.
An update on a news story that we did last week about In-N-Out.
Oh, the burger place.
Yes, Lindsay Snyder, who is the president and owner of In-N-Out, and she talked last week. I think she was on a podcast, and she talked about how they would be moving. I think some of it was maybe misinterpreted a little bit. She said they'd be moving partial operations to Franklin, Tennessee.
Right.
That she was moving her family to Franklin, Tennessee, and that they would be a big chunk of employees would be moving to Franklin, Tennessee also.
Right.
She talked about how they've been in California for all 3 generations of In-N-Out. The company was started by her grandparents many years ago. That California's been very good to them, but they were looking at, as In-N-Out expands, they wanted to move operations to someplace maybe easier to do business, more affordable, a more affordable place for
more
her
centrally
employees.
Located, for example.
That too, of course. She took a lot of heat for that. People were offended, felt like she was speaking poorly of California. She has defended herself by saying, listen, we're not leaving California. Operations will still, we will still have a presence in California. Certainly we're not closing any of our restaurants.
Right.
We will continue to expand. We'll continue to have operations based in California.
Right.
But she said, there are employees who would like to own homes and raise families in a place where it is more affordable to do that. So, it was a tough week, I think, for Lindsay Snyder.
That is a real common thing, though, that if you can't win on the merits, which California can't, taxes are too high, policies are insane regarding theft, regarding the homeless, regarding drugs, all the things are wild acre wrong in California. So you can't win on the substance. So you have to shame people. You have to shame people who are critical of your state.
Well,
while that's a common thing, it's wrong, and it points out the weakness of their argument.
Yeah.
They got a big bag of nothing when it comes to, what they could say is, look, we were great to you guys. We helped you guys build. The people around the country were waiting for In-N-Out to come to their little towns.
That's true.
Because we built this thing. Actually, California didn't probably do anything except take tons of tax revenue from In-N-Out and also from all the employees of In-N-Out.
Well,
all the employees of In-N-Out, they're having to pay high taxes in California. So California did benefit greatly from In-N-Out being either headquartered there or being largely there in the state. And now this granddaughter of the founders says, we're going to do it a different way. And California is not saying, please don't go. We're going to cut better deals for you. They're saying, how dare you? That really hurts our feelings.
Well, she said, I'm very proud of where In-N-Out started. Yeah. Anyone who knows me knows how often I talk about our beginnings and how our customers here in California helped bring us to where we are today.
Yeah, that's right.
And the new Eastern office is only being built to support our growth.
Mm-hmm. Well, good for her.
It's a good thing.
I'm glad they're out.
Well, they're not out.
I'm glad they're in. Glad they're In-N-Out.
They're still in California, but also a little bit out of California.
Got it. Oh, it's time for Scatter Shoot.
Let's go.
Wilder Show Scatter Shoot. All right. Can I start with a little animal good news, bad news?
Sure.
Oh, you know what? This is the end of Shark Week.
I know.
We'll talk about that in a second. Animal good news, bad news. I saw this week. I don't know why. I don't have, like in the olden times, I think I had alerts set for like animal stories, which is crazy because
who would do that?
But I did get one this week fed to me. Camels. Camel tears.
Camel tears?
Camel tears.
Wait, they're being used to cure some disease, or they're worth $1 million a drop.
Yeah, listen to this. Camel tears. They contain potent antibodies with the ability to neutralize almost all snake venom. Is that the weirdest thing ever?
Did we just figure that out? I had something to do with it.
You and the scientists.
Did some very smart people just figure that out?
Yeah, 2021 study revealed that camel tears possess nanobodies. I mean, naturally possess nanobodies that can effectively counteract the venom of multiple snake species, including vipers, cobras, and many others. Now, I have no idea what nanobodies are, but they sound small. Okay, it says bodies, but they're probably really, really little.
That's a safe bet.
But here is the bottom line is this is going to change. We had a conversation one time. Is it anti-venom or anti-venin? And it actually is both. They both are acceptable. I think originally it was anti-venin. If you have an anti-venin, it is the thing that undoes the venom. But I think then the common usage became anti-venom, and it moved toward that. But I think either is
there's no
fine.
Difference.
That's right. They're both fine, right?
Correct.
To be used.
Mm-hmm.
In any case, camel tears are used, and it's going to change. It will revolutionize traditional the anti-venom, anti-venin industry or whatever it is that you have. Isn't that wild?
It is.
Camel tears. Camel tears. I guess you gather them all around.
The boy camels, you make them watch Field of Dreams. And the girl camels have to watch commercials where the grandma gets a new refrigerator.
There you go.
Or the grandchildren make grandma a photo album with pictures from when she first met grandpa.
Anyway, I just thought that was it's going to change the whole anti-venom thing and can provide a universal anti-venom for any snake bite.
That's pretty crazy.
That's crazy.
You mentioned this is the end of Shark Week.
Yeah, right.
I didn't really participate. I didn't participate at all. I don't really. I don't think I've ever watched it. And somehow it's just it's a part of the culture.
It's huge
that we know it's Shark Week, whether we're going to watch it or not. So in wondering about how it got so big and why do we all just know about it, whether we care about sharks or not, I found a couple of, there are a few good reasons for that. I have a couple of questions for you. Okay. It's sort of a quiz. What year did Shark Week premiere? Do you know?
I think we talked about this. I want to say 88.
It is 88.
Yeah, that's the only thing I know.
We've been watching 88. Shark Week for a long time.
For as long as we've known each other, almost.
Almost.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That's a long time.
It is. It's a very long time.
Feels longer for you than for me.
Maybe a little sometimes. What is the largest shark species alive today? On that first one, I don't think I even had to give you the, you knew the answer. I didn't even have to give you the multiple choices. I remember that. Is this multiple choice? Yeah. Okay. Great white shark, whale shark, tiger shark.
It's going to be whale shark.
I feel... Say it again.
It's whale shark.
It is whale shark. Yeah. I feel like I'm like it's kindergarten, and my kids are quizzing me on things they learned about sharks in camp or something like that. Which shark can live over 400 years? It should be which shark can live more than 400 years? That's the first part of the quiz, kids. Second, Greenland shark, hammerhead shark, or bull shark.
I've never heard of the first one, so it must be the first one.
The first one is the Greenland shark, and you are correct.
400 years?
400 years.
Good.
More than 400 years.
Hold on a second. 400 years. So 400 years.
Yeah, I got so wrapped up in asking the question.
1600. That's 1600s.
Years.
The 1600s. The early 1600s. So a shark of that kind, born in the 1600s, could still be alive today.
I guess if I want to know more, I mean, now I'm kind of fascinated by this. I guess the place for me to go would be Shark Week, and now it's just about over. So
next year.
I'll put it on my calendar for next year. How about which celebrity boxed a shark on Shark Week? You want to know your choices? Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Mike Tyson, or Jason Momoa?
I think it was the tattoo face boxer. Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson.
I was going to say, of those three, who's the craziest?
Yeah, right, for sure.
And that would have given you the answer right away. What was the title of Shark Week's very first episode? Caged in Fear, Into the Deep, or Shark Attack?
I don't know.
See, this is exactly why this is Caged in Fear.
Well, that makes sense.
That's why I never watched.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me something's called Caged in Fear, and it's about sharks.
Wasn't that first? I think the first one was about a guy that went down in a cage. You seen those before, where the diver is in a cage underneath, and the shark is trying to get in?
Yes.
That's just like crazy.
It's hard enough for me to sleep. True or false? All sharks must keep swimming or they die. True or false? True or false?
I think it's legend that they do. That they never can not swim. But I think they don't sleep, but they can just rest and not physically keep swimming.
You're on the right track. That is false.
Okay.
That is false.
Sorry, yeah.
Yep, you got it. You want another one?
One more.
What's the average number of shark species worldwide?
The average number of species. That's a weird question.
Kind of a weird way to...
Like the species would change year to year?
Or they maybe.
Extinct. Brand new. Extinct, brand new. Average number of...
you want the... let me give you the choices.
Yeah, sure.
Around 150? Around 400? Or more than 500?
Low. I'd say low. Really?
More than 500.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
One more just because it's kind of funny.
Okay, go.
Okay, which Shark Week stunt disappointed fans by using CGI instead of a real shark? I have three choices for you.
Go ahead.
Shaq versus shark.
Okay.
Phelps versus shark.
Okay.
Zombie sharks.
Well, zombie shark sounds like that would be it, but
It's not.
What was it?
It was Phelps versus
Was
shark.
that the one
that
where
was
he
Michael Phelps.
He was swimming to get away from, or see who could swim faster, him or the shark?
That's crazy.
Was it something like that?
Yeah, Phelps raced a great white shark, but it was actually a CGI simulation.
Oh, that's terrible,
which
though.
Disappointed many fans, of course it did.
Yeah, because you want to feel like what you're looking at is real. That used to be a real seal that was just eaten midair by the real shark.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand why they wouldn't want Michael Phelps to be. Yeah.
Yeah. There's your Shark Week quiz.
Yeah. So farewell, Shark Week 2025. Until we chomp again.
You and I have spent a lot of time in this space, particularly talking about ways to age well and questioning whether or not I'm really interested in these types of things. And it's a lot of fun for me to ask you about how you're doing.
Yeah.
These same.
Let me turn to the audience real quick and say, the reason it's fun to ask me about it is because Lauren can say, I do it this way. What do you do?
No, well, so. I'm hoping. It's always my hope that these things will be an encouragement.
Okay. I digress. Go right ahead.
You and I are both. We're twice as old or more than we were when we first met.
Well, that's true.
Those many years ago. Back then, I had no. I mean, young kids. Work, it was a struggle just to survive. I wasn't thinking about any of this stuff.
No, yeah, I got you.
So my interest in this is really, considering how long I've been alive, it's fairly recent. But every time I see these things, I think, well, maybe I'll just, maybe I'll throw these out here and we'll talk about them and we'll see how we're doing. Okay. Are we aging well?
All right,
first question, are you eating well? Fruits and vegetables, limiting ultra-processed foods.
And the second question?
Okay. Are you?
No, I don't eat large portions.
No, you don't.
Even when it's like bad food.
Yeah.
A pizza or whatever. It's like I'm not gonna eat a lot of that.
How about the good food? Do you eat even small portions?
No, the portion size is about the same, whether it's good for me or not good for me. All I mean to say is, I wouldn't eat 5 tacos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you also wouldn't eat 5 carrots.
I might, but maybe,
yeah.
But small portions generally. But that isn't because I'm good. I don't eat large quantities of food.
Yeah. Okay.
Good or bad.
Okay. Are you staying hydrated?
Not like I should.
Yeah.
Not like I should.
Water is really important.
It is. And water is what lets your cells do all the work.
Yes.
And it's just not good. Your organs, this is how I understand it. Your organs need hydration.
Yeah.
To do the cells and all that. You gotta hydrate. I don't do that, but I don't drink diet soda like I used to.
That's good.
I don't do that. I drink a little bit of coffee, but not much.
Coffee and alcohol both are dehydrators.
That's true.
Means you're going to need even
more
if
water.
You can
if you
compensate,
do that,
you're going to need more. More water. But
how about milk? I'm drinking. I've just discovered, in the last 2 weeks, started drinking more milk.
Milk is hydrating.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I thought milk is a hydrator.
I don't know. You're going to drink 8 glasses of it.
No,
a day,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But I don't drink 8 glasses of anything in the day. If I drink, a couple of glasses of milk, that's pretty good. For me, it's good.
It's probably not enough for you to stay.
It's not
hydrated.
Yeah, I'm trying to say I'm not going to stay hydrated, but I'm doing better.
You're doing okay. I'll take that. Let's see. Number 3. Are you being physically active? Are you moving regularly enough to raise your heart rate?
Well, I stretch. I mean, like in the morning.
I don't think that's what they're talking about here.
That's not the kind of stretching you're supposed to do. No, I could do better.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be a common answer. I could certainly do better.
I think we could all do better.
Yeah.
It's good to be reminded of these things, especially as we age. Walking can boost your physical fitness. not only that, though, also sharpens your mind.
That's what I hear.
Prevent osteoporosis.
Gotcha.
But all of those things, of course, are even, it's better when you pair that with good nutrition.
Everything else, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is a good one too. Are you connecting socially? Keeping in touch with others, meaningful connection. I think some people are they do like their alone time. There's a difference between being alone and being lonely. Loneliness does increase the risk of depression and cognitive decline.
So let me ask you this: if I am alone, but if I am not lonely, you see, is that? I mean, are people buoyed by togetherness because they need it? And if you didn't need it, are you okay? If you're a little more, you're alone but not lonely. I mean, it's the problem of being alone that it makes most people lonely, or is the problem that really being alone is the problem? It seems to me that if you were a person who enjoyed avoidance of other, if that really,
that's a completely different quiz. I think you're probably, I don't see, you don't ever talk about being lonely, and your siblings are all here.
Yeah.
Your grown kids, a couple of your grown kids are here. You connect with people on a regular basis.
And I've said before that, for people, because I know people that have no siblings at all.
Yeah.
And so therefore they have no nieces or no nephews or whatever. And I always thought that must be really, I never thought that must be sad, but I always thought that must be really weird because, for me, everything was loud.
Yeah.
Everything was loud. A lot of people, loud, and some of it was rambunctious, some of it was, angsty, but it was always active.
Yeah.
And I always thought it'd be kind of weird. I always think of like one person, just what are they doing? Just reading a book in a room?
Maybe so.
Or sitting on TV or whatever these days, but it just seemed weird. But anyway, so yeah, I don't do a lot of social stuff. I don't, it's not that I don't know. I don't want to say it the way that I think you would ask me to edit it if I said it the way I want to say it. But I'm not really a person like that. I'm not, and no judgment. If people are different, but I'm not a real. I mean, in my real life, right? My real life, not like if I did it for work or something like that. But for example, when I've traveled all around the world, done a lot of interesting things. I think interesting, and met a lot of people and done some things like that. But in my real life, my own life. I don't really have. I don't have the desire. I'm not inclined toward any of that stuff.
First of all, I think that would be a surprise to so many people, and I never, only in recent years, have I heard people go more deeply into personality types. And if I'd ever heard, before that somebody could be an outgoing introvert, I would have thought. That's really weird, but you are kind of an outgoing introvert.
It's almost like I always felt like if it was part of my job, I could do it. I just not to go crazy.
You're gonna pay me, I'll come.
No, that I know. No, but I mean, it's my role. It was my official role. I'll give you an example. If I were hosting a party, let's say we're throwing a party for somebody, at the what do you call the night before a wedding?
The rehearsal dinner.
Yeah, rehearsal dinner. When you do, that's my role. I'm
the host.
I'm the host of this thing. I can do, but that's a task thing in my mind. That's a task I'm doing. And the task calls on me to do these things. It doesn't mean it's fake. It means I'm summoning this thing to be able to do it. So it's not just if I was. In fact, I wasn't paid at all. I was paying for that. But so it wasn't. It was just my job. But sometimes if it is your job, you do a remote broadcast or something, you're greeting people. It's not fake. it's part of the role that you're playing at the time.
When you do something like that, do you find it energizing or exhausting?
No, I do find it energizing because I like the sharpening. I like having to be on. I like having somebody look at you, and you can't pause, you can't Google, you can't AI the response. It really is you.
You have to be in the moment.
Yeah, you have. I mean, you're there, right? It's not artificial intelligence; it's actual intelligence, a different kind of AI. And so I like that. I've always enjoyed that sort of almost like it's like combat, Now, even if it's good, even if it's not. Disagreeing. I like that. I like that interaction. I like, as some would say wrongly, I like conversating. I do like conversation. I don't like fake conversation, but a real conversation. I mean, I don't like going to somebody saying, it really is. How about this weather? I mean,
not small talk. That's no chit chat.
Not at all.
Well, see, I think that's connecting socially.
See,
if you're having those kinds of interactions with people.
I like. I think you were a witness recently to a conversation like that I did not seek out, but I was engaged, and it was like the gun went off, and there I went.
Yeah,
and it was for me, it was interesting. I mean, I found that exchange interesting.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have bothered me if it had not happened. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You weren't seeking out those opportunities. No. The last question is, are you challenging your brain? And I mean, I think you might not do it in all of the ways they mention here, but learning, reading, you do that all the time. But trying something new, crossword puzzles, new physical activities, maybe not so much.
See,
even small actions can have lasting benefits.
I like thinking. I mean, I like challenging my head, my brain.
You do your little New York Times puzzles every day. See, I give those a lot of credit. I probably give them more credit than they're due for fighting
let me say to the audience, this is really unfair because Lauren usually gives me the quiz and this kind of stuff, and it makes it seem like it's all about But Lauren is good on all these things. You're good on all these things. All these quiz things. Oh. I mean, this quiz.
Yeah.
You're physically active. You actually enjoy other people. You know, I mean,
I do.
All the things that I'm not. You hydrate. You eat right. You exercise. I'm usually watching Court TV while you're exercising.
If you give me a quiz on world news, though, I will often fail miserably.
That's okay. It's okay. Priorities. We didn't hit 100.
I know.
Well, I really thought we were going to hit 100.
Are we going to make it to August and never have hit 100 degrees?
Tell you something, a little bit of trivia. Since either 1960 or the 60s, I can't recall which. I know it's a big difference, but I'm not going to look it up. In Dallas or Dallas-Fort Worth area, there have only been 6 times ever that we did not hit 100 before August 1st. So on average, only one time a decade has it happened that we stayed below 100 until August 1st. And it might be the case here, although it really does feel like, of course, I thought this last week. I mean, I thought that, this last week, I thought I was going to hit it. I thought it was going to hit it Wednesday or yesterday. I thought it was going to hit it. And this weekend looks like it's going to be a little bit cooler, but then it may ramp back up. But we might go all the way to August 1st, not having hit 100 officially at DFW Airport. And that is remarkable.
It is.
Okay, that is Wilder Show Podcast. Instagram, find us on Instagram at Wilder Show Pod. If you want to send us an email, just email podcast@wildershow.com. The Wilder Show Podcast drops Tuesdays and Fridays at 6 a.m. Central, except for today, on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube. Wherever you get your podcast, like, rate, follow, subscribe, and share. And Lauren, thank you.
You bet.
And we'll see you next time. Da 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 da